you've got some other things to offer, and those other things are financing for companies. Why don't you tell us about that?
Right. So we also provide access to unsecured financing in various forms.
Okay.
It's customized. We're here to generate solutions for business owners. Sadly, banks do not lend to business owners. Per the Wall Street Journal, 11% of the time only are business owners successful when they apply for a loan at their bank, and nearly 90% of the time they never get what they need. And so we're here to have creative solutions to fill the gap to help business owners expand their business operations.
Excellent. So if it's only 11%, it must also be a different process in terms of time too. Would they apply at a bank or for an SBA loan versus what you're doing? What's that time difference?
It's substantial. So nowadays, with underwriting for a bank, it can take weeks. Voluminous amounts of information are requested, profit and loss, tax returns for the past 2 or 3 years, all kinds of detailed information. For us, the process is very simple. We just need a one-page application filled out, and along with a snapshot of your business. If it's a smaller amount of funding, like under $50,000, then we typically need just 4 months bank statements. If it's more than 50K, then 6 months bank statements. What will also help is if the business owner has a credit card machine, takes debit and credit cards, then if we can get your merchant account statements as well, then it gives us more ability to come up with solutions that will help the business owner.
Okay, excellent. And that time process, once they submit the application and those statements, what are we looking at?
It could be as short a time period as 24, 48 hours. There's no cost or obligation to exploring unsecured financial solutions to help your business. Typically, once we get the application back and we can examine your bank statements, then we can find solutions that may work. We give an approval, and with stipulations if we need to find out some additional info. But from hello to fund could take as little as 24, 48 hours.
Okay, that's excellent. Then once they're approved, what are we talking about in terms of funding?
24 hours.
Another 24?
Yep. So
excellent.
The process is this. Send in the application. We'll review it with the information sent over as well. 4 months bank statements, merchant statements. We can generate an approval or give you a game plan where we can get you money soon. Typically we can do it immediately. Other times we need to do a bit of homework to get you ready to receive the funds. We'll get you an approval with stipulations. If you can meet the stipulations requested with the approval, then we execute a contract. It's a very simple contract. It's a 7-page contract. And then we do a final underwriting call to verify all the information with a live screen share so that we have an exact current present day snapshot of your business. And once the final underwriting call is completed, we can fund you within hours.
Is the stipulations more verification than anything else?
It's more verification, like per the Patriot Act, we have to confirm your identity. It's
our understanding that in this business it's full of competition, and that's okay. We like competition, but typically businesses get 2 to 3 phone calls per day about, hey, we'd like to talk to you about lending money, whatever. How do you typically respond to that? I mean, how do you see this whole opportunity with HC financing as against that kind of a situation?
Well, we have a proven track record, and this is a very competitive space. It's predicted per the Wall Street Journal that by 2020, this will be $1 trillion industry, and people hire anyone that can pick up a phone to call and bother people to get applications to do a loan. Now, our company, we have over 6 years experience in this industry. That's combined experience between the principals. This industry is only really 5 years old. And so we have a level of service that is higher. We always under-promise, over-deliver. We're not a publicly traded company, so you're not dealing with an organization that has 500 or 1,000 employees that don't attach any true passion to your file. You're not going to get lost in the mix. Because we're a smaller company, we can be more creative to get you the funding you need. We also have other programs that are available that an East Coast company can't offer. Like, we have been known to do collateralized lending as well at much lower rates on like commercial buildings or even bridge loans. Like, it's hard. People get pestered all the time, and office managers or business owners receive these calls all the time. Typically, once we have a short conversation with them, they realize that we are experts at what we do, and we always under-promise, over-deliver, and we're not here to sell you money. Like, if we cannot help your business, that's okay. We're just here to create value to the business owner's bottom line.
Essentially solutions.
Yeah.
Okay.
And there's no cost or obligation, and it's good to shop. Like, but the thing is this, right? Is that all the time I encounter business owners that they're desperate, and they make desperate decisions, and they pay for it. When it's good to be strategic about having access to fast, flexible capital for a rainy day, or if you see an opportunity. And we have been known, we're a private capital fund, we have even been known to invest in businesses. I mean, it is a rare occasion, but you have, through HT financing, you have direct access to private capital. And we always have it, and we deliver it quickly, and we're very concise and no nonsense about conducting business.
All right, let's look at a real sore topic. I think with virtually everybody, somebody feels like they've always overpaid in interest, but what most people don't understand is what goes into the calculation of interest. In other words, it's risk. That's a key item, right?
Yeah.
Within that interest rate. So why don't you expand on that a bit? What actually determines what that interest rate is going to be besides market fluctuation?
Right. So there's various loan programs. Okay. A loan, like a typical loan, an interest rate is like through an SBA loan or like a bridge loan from a bank, has voluminous underwriting, and if it's appreciating, it's an interest rate that may go up. Mm-hmm. When we do unsecured advances to various industries and businesses, it's very simple. It's just a simple contract. It's not credit based. It is unsecured. It's unsecured. We will give you unsecured funds. And it's a simple contract where you would agree to pay back like $200 a day, per day, Monday through Friday, until it was paid off. Or if it was something like what's called a merchant cash advance, you would pay a percentage of your receivables when you run debit and credit cards, so that a predetermined percentage with the max daily amount would be paid back until the loan is paid back, the advance is paid back. Some people like it's called a merchant cash advance, which is based on the percentage, because if you have a slow day, then you pay back less. So
Right.
it can be variable with your productivity.
Penalty if someone has to miss a payment.
Well, it's all based on trust. This is completely based on trust. So once a business owner demonstrates to us that they are an entrepreneur and that they can manage their liabilities and keep their word, that changes everything. When a business owner demonstrates that, that has a big impact on what we can offer them, which can typically mean the same amount for less, or it could be more for the same. So it really just depends. It is an unsecured advance. It's unsecured. It's not collateralized. So obviously we have a contract and we may pursue you for the money. It's an unsecured advance. That's,
Okay.
we take all the risk.
Well, how do you set up the payments? How does that look?
Okay, so payments vary depending on how much money you're getting advance.
Right.
It could either be a simple contract where you pay back a daily amount Monday through Friday
Right.
For a specified term of 120 days until it's paid back in full. Or if it's a merchant cash advance, it's a predetermined percentage of your receivables. One way to think about it is when you get unsecured funds, we facilitate tomorrow's cash today at a set factor rate. So the better your credit, the better your business, the less risk that we see in advancing you unsecured funds will get you a much better rate.
But are these funds paid back, electronic funds transfer?
Yeah, so we use something called an ACH, which is an automatic clearinghouse.
Mm-hmm.
So as part of the contract, we go into the account, so every day we would take out the predetermined amount each day,
Mm-hmm.
or if it was a merchant cash advance, then the percentage would come off from the batch before it goes into your bank account.
How quickly can you transfer the funds once they've been approved? How quickly?
Within like a few hours,
Okay. Right.
24 hours, let's say 24 hours. For larger amounts, there may be more underwriting. Typically that would include a site visit, so we would physically verify that you are at that address. There would be landlord verification as well, that you are current on your rent. The most important thing is that the more candid you are with us on your true business situation, then it allows us to be more creative if there's some business pressures that here to get you funded, and if we're candid with each other, then it allows us to help you more.
This would include past issues with credit,
Yeah,
current
anything,
credit score,
everything.
things
Now,
like that.
I mean, the better your credit, the better. Okay, as long as your credit is over 500, then we can help you.
Okay. Now we're going to talk about objections that they deal with.
Yeah.
So the guy makes the call on him. He says, "Oh, that's great," but so some of the objections that we noted, and you might have some others, but
Yeah.
let's start with what we have. I'm not really looking for additional capital at the moment, so I don't think there's any need to talk further.
Yeah.
How would you deal with that?
Well, here's the thing, is I hear that all the time from business owners, and I'm not here to sell you anything. I'm just here to provide direct access to unlimited private capital to help your business. And when people are desperate and they need money, they make bad decisions. So if I could just get your, there's no cost or obligation to make an application, or if I could just get your information and we'll just touch back with you every 30, 60 days. If you come across an opportunity where you see you can take advantage of something and you don't have enough liquid funds, we may be able to help you. If you have an emergency or something drastic happens, you have someone that you can contact right away without having to get lost on the internet.
So essentially what we're saying is to get this pre-reviewed, if you will, by
that's
them,
fine.
so that they don't become that desperate situation.
Right.
Oh, I've already spoken with HC, I can get this, I can talk with them again.
Yeah.
Go back
well,
in.
well, here's the thing: is that all I mean, all you're really selling is access. Like, we're not here to sell money. Like, the money is the money. Mm-hmm. And if your business isn't expanding, then that's okay. If your business isn't expanding, we're just here to help if we can help. Okay. Like, if you're having issues with medical billing or accounts receivable, we can release that asset on your balance sheet immediately for cash.
Right.
Like, we're just here to help. That's all.
Okay, some of the things that people typically run across is they hear about other companies, because we said it's a crowded space.
Yeah.
A lot of people there. So they come back with saying, well, I can get loans for half the interest or some lower amount of interest rate. Why should I do business with you?
Well, it happens all the time. So we deal with business owners across America, and typically what happens is they pin their hopes on some type of SBA loan or some type of bridge loan or some type of promise from their bank. And it's good to be optimistic because this is America, but when the push comes to shove, they call us back up and they say, yeah, it didn't work out. I'm like, well, now you let your business slide, and now I can't get you 100K, I can only get you 50K. And so it all sounds good, right? Until it's not good. So it's super simple. There's no harm in looking. It's smart to shop. Good luck, super simple.
Talking to people who were becoming new HC reps.
Yeah.
And so they're asking a number of questions. So
Mm-hmm.
we're looking at questions here from their perspective.
Mm-hmm.
So the first is there any one industry where we would be more successful than another? Besides healthcare, most of these are going to be MRA reps, and so they're going to do the Columbo close to go back after them with that. But if they go to an auto shop or they go to a dress manufacturer or whatever, what at that point should they be looking at? There's got to be a primary vertical that you're more successful in than another.
It's open-ended. The only people or businesses we won't finance are attorneys. And so, fancy that. So, other than that, I mean, we really look at, it's really transaction based. So a business that has more transactions is better. A business that, they have to have at least 5 transactions a month. So it's all about, for us as the funder, we need to quantify the risk. So it's harder to fund used car businesses. We funded them, but it's harder. But typically we can really fund anyone. These are the minimum criteria, is that they have to be in business at least 6 months, they have to have at least 10,000 in transactions a month, and they have to have no more than 5 non-sufficient funds, NSF, a non-sufficient fund, on their bank accounts for the month. We may be able to do with more than 5, but it's very unlikely. Anything more than 10 is an automatic scratch. The higher their average daily balance is, the better. And it's on a case-by-case basis. Every solution is customized to the merchant, and we can generate approvals within 24 hours.
So when I ask a question like, what are the variables associated with the loans made?
Essentially, the more transactions, the better. The healthier the business, the better. The less leverage the business, the better. If someone already has a loan, that's fine. If they already have many loans, we can sometimes do equipment financing instead, which is completely unrelated.
What about consolidation of all of that?
Consolidation, okay, so we always under-promise, over-deliver. Consolidation is tough. And so if anyone tells you that it's not tough, be very careful, because people have a tendency to tell other people what they think they want them to hear. Consolidation is tough. The reason why that is because if you have loans already, I can make a path for you to drop your rates down, but as a rule of thumb, in this industry, people experimented with consolidation, but what they found occurred was they would pay off everyone else that had the loans out, so all their competitors would get paid and be in the black, and then the business owner would take that consolidation and then stack more positions on the back of it, and so they would still become leveraged again. But then the consolidators taking all the risk. And so we have done consolidation, but it's on a case-by-case basis. The way to approach this is that there's always a path that add value for your business, and it may be immediate, or it may take 60 or 90 days. I don't know what the answer is until we look at your business position.
People are asking us, well, what's the commission rate? And we've already determined that there's a commission rate between us. And the issue for them becomes, well, what's my piece? What is it? So we want to ask you this question. Is there a number, as an example, like 5% of gross or 2% of gross or something, the which we could say to a rep, yeah, that's going to be your commission. And it could be more.
Yeah.
It could be more. But as a minimum, it's going to be that kind of a percentage.
So it's, like as I said, we always under promise, over deliver. A percentage of the net file would be like normal. I don't strategically know what the best answer is at this time to incentivize people as reps to do this. That it has to be like as much as possible to make people even want to do it.
So there's some minimum number that we could say, yeah, you're going to at least get that as a percentage of the gross.
Yeah.
But it could be much more.
Well, the gross, so here's the thing. So, like, we did a loan on Monday for 75,000. Like, gross sounds better because it's the gross. Like, because I done a lot of real estate, like, there's a percentage, right? And so you could say you get 3 points of the gross, maybe. Or I don't know what the answer is, because in terms of like me having been a salesperson and a rep, then they'll be like, what? That's nothing. Like, you know, like, but it's something when you're there anyway, if it's just a referral.
Exactly,
you know?
so.
And then you don't have to have any knowledge, you don't have to have any setup.
Underwriting skills, nothing. All that's done by...
Just send them over here.
Right. How much time do I have in it, and what's my time worth?
Yeah.
It's that simple, really.
Yeah.